Mustafa, good evening. And Natalie, good evening. I hope you are doing well. I think 5 people are watching us, so good evening, everyone. I thought it's just Mustafa because he came before. I hope everyone is doing well, and everyone, Ustad Samia Marhaba, you are welcome. Everyone is welcome to this live session that we are holding here in response to some students who would love to have this live session on the complementizer and the complementizer phrase, and this corresponds to one of the lessons that we covered, to the lesson that we covered in syntax this week. And of course, this represents the progress towards it's one step towards understanding movement phenomena in syntax, and more complex phenomena in syntax. I always make the point to my students that missing one single session in syntax will have nefarious consequences on your understanding and also on your knowledge of syntax, and you will be hard put to answer a number of questions on the day of the exam. So in order to counter this threat, I have decided to give these extra sessions in favor of our students so that they can be clear on what is expected of them. And of course, this is also meant to the general public who might be interested in syntax. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you for making it here. I would like to spend a couple of minutes in order to share the link to this live session, in order to attract more people who might be interested in syntax, because I receive private messages, and some of the comments, you may have read them, complained that they were not aware that the live session was held, so they did not see the announcement. I would love to, I would kindly request that you share the link, as I will do now on my WhatsApp, for example, and in some of the groups that I know. So let me take 2 minutes waiting for more people to come. I think the number has reached 15 now. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who have not subscribed, please do this so that you will be able to send messages. And for those of you who are watching us, please hit the like button so that you encourage the algorithm to function. Ustad Atimad, marhaba. Marhaba, Ustad Diya. And then we have other friends here. I forgot there. So, Si Mustafa, Ustad Natalie, Samia, Katsu something, 9577. Hello. Everyone is welcome. Okay, let me share this at least to my WhatsApp. Where is the link? Yes, let me share it on WhatsApp. The rest, kindly share this as well, s'il vous plaît. Okay, just to reach more people. Of course, there is nothing desired other than sharing, because the number is minimal anyhow. If you share and you keep sharing, that will not have any major consequences. The point I'm being made here is to reach as many people as possible. Okay, thank you very much. Sukaina Benaisa, hello, Sukaina. Hello, everyone. I don't know if I can make a little announcement also on TikTok. Let me do it à ma façon, do it this way. So I think I will just go live on TikTok and see if there are people who would like to join us. I'll put this here. I think it's going to work this way. Very interesting. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's time to start, unless you would like us to wait for more minutes. Maybe wait for some time. Ismail, you are the best professor. Allah يحفظك Ismail. Allah يجزيك بخير. وأنت, because you are saying these nice things about your professor, you are the best well brought up student, you see. Thank you so much. Only someone who has had very good upbringing would say good things about his professors. Thank you so much. Okay, hello, my dear friends, the ones that are on TikTok. You are welcome to this live session. Of course, this live is not meant to be broadcast, on TikTok. It's initially a YouTube video, so if you would like to join, you are welcome. The reason why TikTok may not be a good platform, for you to follow this live is that I will be using the whiteboard, and there are high chances for what I will write here to be reversed. Except that I will not hide it from you. I look better on TikTok than on this platform. Nuhaila, marhaba Nuhaila. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Si Ismail, marhaba Si Ismail, Sarah Boo. Hello everyone. I don't know how many we have. Okay, we are only 13 here. That's not really a good thing. But the point is that there are people who keep for these live sessions, and when I come, only the select few attend. Perhaps these people are waiting for me to check on them, check with them their schedule, so that I can make it to this live session. Anyway, thank you very much for joining, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like us to start, please type 1. The ones who would like us to start, type 1, please. The ones who are unable to comment, to place a comment or to comment is a verb. So those who would like to comment, subscribe and then comment. The reason why I have filtered, or I've set this algorithm to prevent the non-subscribers, that there are people who just les mauvaises langues, comme on dit, who might write anything. So thank you so much. I think Nuhaila is watching me also from TikTok, so I think you were nominated moderator. So just in case there is something that you think is inappropriate on TikTok, a comment or a bad word or whatever, so feel free to block the individual in question. Thank you very much. So the ones who have typed 1 are the ones who would like me to start. So I think it's time to start without further ado, as they say. If the voice is clear, okay. Thank you so much. Nuhaila is using 2 devices. Thank you so much. Sumaya, ahlan wa sahlan Sumaya. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, but people need to be blocked, of course. Thank you. All right. So let's start our discussion of the notion of the complementizer in syntax. In this session, we will know what a complementizer is, what types of complementizers we have. That's number 2. What features these complementizers bear, what features, and also what utility does the notion of the complementizer have in syntactic structure. Ladies and gentlemen, understand that in X-bar theory, and this is a reminder, in X-bar theory, the assumption is that all phrases have a uniform structure. I repeat, in X-bar theory, and this is what is new about the framework. In X-bar theory, every single phrase has a maximal projection of XP. That is to say, if we have a noun phrase, then of course we have here is we have a noun double bar. So a phrase is equal to a double bar. So wherever you see the double bar here, you see a phrase. All right. Okay, I don't know if you can see that on. Yeah, I think you can see that on YouTube, but probably not because it's reversed. You cannot see that on TikTok. So I have to write here. So you have X double bar for any phrase. So if you have a prepositional phrase, then of course you have, by definition, a P double bar. If you have a verb phrase, then you have a V double bar, and so on and so forth. Okay. A message to the ones who are on TikTok, our friends here, kindly hit the heart there so that we can attract more people also on TikTok. Thank you so much. Malika, marhaba on TikTok, Malika. And Sana, thank you so much. So you do what you are supposed to do, you know that. Anyway, so this is the basic notion. The basic idea in X-bar theory is that phrases submit to one structure, which is what? Which is X double bar. You may have some sort of a kind of specifier here. Then you have a bar level. Then you have the head, which is the X0. And of course, you have a complement. Every single sentence in X-bar theory has this structure. Apologies to the friends who are on TikTok because this is reversed. I can't solve that problem. But if you would like to join our YouTube channel, when I'm also live on YouTube, you can also come to Your Academic Companion, Dr. Amrus, and then you will see things in working order. Very good. So this is the point. the new thing in today's session is that, as we will see, the power of X-bar theory is that there are good reasons to argue not only that all phrases submit to the same architecture of X double bar, X bar, and then X zero, but, and this is something new, I would like to underline this here, even clauses are, have the form of a phrase. Clauses are seen as a phrase, as phrases in X-bar theory. Okay, and this is exactly the topic of today's session. I do apologize to my friends on TikTok for the reverse nature of the board. If you can just follow by means or by just by listening to what I say, then that's ideal. If you would like to look at me, then that's fine. But if you would like to follow on the board, I am afraid this is reversed, and of course the vertical screen does not really is not really ideal. So all that you can do is just listen if you are around. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the nice words that you are putting in my favor over there. Thank you. Now, let me just check something here. It's fine. Yeah, I think I can use this part of the board. Oh no, let me see where I can insert, where I can put this. Let me put it here. I think it's fine. It's okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. How can I get... All right, that's ideal. Let's start with point one. Let me start with point one, ladies and gentlemen. What is this point one? Point one is that if we think of a sentence like this, okay, apologies to the people on TikTok. So I think that he is nice. I think that, oh no. I think that he is nice. I think that he is nice. I think that, okay, let me just write it like this. He is nice. Okay. In traditional grammar, when I say traditional grammar, I'm also talking about S4 grammar. In traditional grammar, what we have is that this one here is a sentence, okay? And inside this sentence, we have what we refer to as a clause. Now, according to the definition of a clause, for those of you who have problems defining a clause or who hear about the word clause for the first time, then of course, a clause, it's written like this, okay? Because this is addressed also to beginners, okay? A clause is whenever you can locate. Thank you for those who write those nice comments. Anyway, so whenever you can locate a subject and its verb, I repeat, a subject and its verb, means subject, verb. If I have he is, then of course that's a clause. So whenever you can whenever you can locate a subject and a verb, that's automatically a clause. So let's see whether we have a clause here or not. Let me do it, okay, like this. So we have I. Is it a subject? Yes, it is a subject because I have the verb here, think. So I have clause number one. Let me see if there is another clause here. That, and then you have subject, and then you have verb here. So this sentence has two clauses. This sentence has two clauses. Very interesting. This is very nice. Okay. Now, if we look at this sentence, we will find out that the second clause is introduced by that. Yes or no? So you cannot say I think that, can you? You cannot say I think that and stop. You have to say I think that something. Now, if I open the door and say hello, you say hello. I would like to tell you that, and then stop. Of course, this is okay. This is not okay. This is incomplete. So we would like to know about the rest. As I keep joking with my student, I say that this piece of information, this gossip, is not complete when you say I think that and stop. Okay. Very good. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Nice. So, Nuhaila, I rely on you, please, to filter those if there are comments that are not appropriate on TikTok because I do not read them. Very nice. So, the role of that here, okay, or in other words, the only thing possible here after that is a subject and a verb. You cannot say, for example, I think that beautiful. Impossible, because that does not take beautiful as a compliment. So when you say I think that, you cannot say I think that quickly. No, that's not possible. And you cannot have I think that and then you have a noun phrase, even if it's long. Let me see. You cannot say, for example, I think that the nice book. Impossible. What you should have there after I think that is subject plus verb. In other words, after that, what you should have is a clause. So that here selects a clause. It selects a clause, which means what? Which means that the sentence that comes after that is a complement of that. Do you understand me? So we talk about here the complement of that in the form of a clause. For this reason, we say that here is a complementizer. We call this a complementizer. Apologies, friends on TikTok. If you see these things that are reversed, please join us on YouTube where things are, you see, in good order. All right. So here we are. So that here is a complementizer. Complementizer. We call it a complementizer. Okay. Someone write this on TikTok in a comment. If you know how to write complementizer, please do that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now let's continue, please. If you would like us to continue, I think this example can omit the word that. Of course, I will come to that. I'll come to that. But let's do that in a pedagogical way. So let's start with the things that are easy, and then we move on to what is exceptional. So, but thank you for that that point. Of course. So this is exactly the idea. So let me summarize point one. Now we are talking about a category in language which selects, which chooses after it as a complement, a full clause, يعني a subject and a verb. When you say I think that, then what comes after is a subject and verb, no discussion. In other words, what comes after that is a clause. Okay? So we have I think that you are nice. In French, je pense que tu es beau or belle or whatever. Je pense que, and then you have subject verb after tu and then est, le verbe être. Donc, le sujet est le verbe. Yo creo que seas or estas or whatever. And you have yo creo que estas in Spanish. You have a deleted subject, but a subject which is recoverable. We're not talking about that. Okay, you have it in Arabic. أظن أن. عندما أقول أظن أن, what comes after أن is a full clause. يكون عندي فيه فعل وفاعل. Okay, أظن أنك أنت, يعني ضمير اللي هو مستتر أو متصل. أظن أنك إنسان طيب. Okay, you know that this is the case. This is the situation. In all languages, in Amazigh, for example, in Tashlihit, you have because you have that is, which in Tarifit is aqa, but this aqa is disappearing. In Nayi, aqa guadias, aqa, and then of course you have a clause afterwards, which means that universally this synonym of that in different languages, and I can give you, other examples from other languages. And then you have the so-called billi in Moroccan Arabic, qalli billi. Then you have a complementizer. You have the that, and then you have a clause after. Now, if someone asks you, or if you are asked on the day of the exam, why do we call that a complementizer? Your answer should be that we call it a complementizer because it has as a complement, that's why we call it complementizer, a clause. It has a complement that takes the form of a clause. Is that fine, ladies and gentlemen? Very good. Very nice. Okay. Now, let me say something, and that's point 2. Those of you who are following us, let's move on to point 2 about these things. So point 1 is the definition of a complementizer. I repeat, the complementizer is called the complementizer only because it selects, okay? It selects means after it comes a full clause, not an NP, not any other category. That's why we refer to it as a complementizer. Very interesting. Now, point 2, ladies and gentlemen, do you know? So in the sentence that we had here, I think that you are nice. We have a complex, somehow the sentence is complex. English is a language that has a complementizer only in the middle, as is the case with French. Que, But do you know, ladies and gentlemen, that that there are languages, we have standard Arabic, classical Arabic. You have sentences that start with complementizers. A sentence starting with a complementizer. In English, we cannot start a sentence with that. All right? We cannot start with that in English, but in Arabic, you can start with inna. Inna taliba. إن الطالب قد غادر القاعة. So we have inna here, which is a complementizer, of course, because it introduces a clause after. So you have الطالب غادر إلى آخره. So we call this also a complementizer. One of the characteristics of Arabic is that Arabic is a language that has not lost its complementizer at the beginning of a sentence. Many languages, if not انا بغيت بالضبط ما زغت انا بلاتي نجاوب هذا الشيء نو لا سعيده وضع ما زغت مين بدا وضع ما زغت نو لا وضع ما زغت قاق نشرح ذي حنجار مساكين قازونينا غاس الامتحان قال شو نشرح حسن سوا خشين ما شمار انت ودور زيت ما زغت جوار زقينات. My friends, I'm responding to a comment on TikTok, but I think the friend is just asking this question in good faith because she asked me whether I have lost my terifit. She thinks that I am using English because I've lost my terifit, but of course I think that she is just joking about it. Never mind, I close the bracket. So this one here, in this situation, you have inna, which corresponds to that. And in Arabic, you can see this phenomenon. This is a very good characteristic of Arabic. It means Arabic is very conservative. It has not lost this. Many languages have lost this, element at the beginning. In English, we do not say that he will travel tomorrow. No. Okay? That he traveled yesterday. But in Arabic, we can say لقد سافر البارحة. Okay? Which means that, many languages have lost this complementizer at the beginning. Why am I telling you this? The reason why I am telling you this, ladies and gentlemen, is that in English, even if we have something like the student left, so I'll write it here, the student left, شوف كيفاش كتبت left أنا. The student left Okay. Oh, niveau de batterie faible. Let me branch this, please. Yeah. Let me branch this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Okay. Now it's fine. So in Arabic, in English, you have the student left. Even if Hafizakumullah, thank you so much. I see very good comments on TikTok and also on YouTube. I'm really, really grateful for the nice word you are putting in my favor. This is exactly what encourages me to come live. It's your satisfaction with what we are doing here. Anyway, so you have the student left. This is very important. I need your attention, please. So this one here, in this sentence in English and in sentence in French, for example, je suis parti hier, j'ai voyagé, ila akhiri. Then, of course, we have underliningly. I'm sorry, I will not use underline. Let me say this. Normally, when I say a sentence as simple as this, there is this, that here, there is evidence. We have evidence that here we have that. In other words, that even in our sentences in English, we do have that there. But this that is what? Is only syntactic. It's not semantic, it's not lexical. It does not show, it does not appear, but it's there, underlyingly. So we have here a complementizer. Complementizer is here. In very simple sentences, direct sentences, I read the book. There is a complementizer before I, corresponding to the Arabic sentence, لقد قرأت الكتاب. How do we know? There is evidence. We are going to talk about the arguments here. Is that fine? Please, let me see if there are questions. I don't look at the comments, unfortunately. But anyway, let me just go ahead and explain to you some arguments in favor of the existence of the complementizer. All right? Fine. الإخوان اللي في TikTok, thank you. I think you are 66 people watching us. Since you prefer TikTok, I think the picture looks more lighted. So please hit the heart button and share the live so that we can have more people with us here. Thank you so much, and I apologize for the reverse nature of writing here. Now, let's talk about the complementizer and argue for its existence even in sentences where it does not show. We cannot see it, but it's still there. And this is what is fascinating about syntax. In syntax, we have categories that exist, but unfortunately, categories that we cannot see. Think, ladies and gentlemen, of the English language, and I will go back to one of the comments that were typed here, that have been placed here, that were placed here a while ago. In English, when you say, I think that, or she said that she will come, she said that she will come, or she said she will come without that. So as you can see, this is a further piece of evidence that English is getting rid of the complementizer. Even the complementizer, which is in the middle of a sentence, sometimes it is sacrificed. It's optional. It's like English finds it very heavy to carry those complementizers. So it gets rid of them. It's not like Arabic. You have أظن أنك إلى آخره. But you have also a sentence, a normal sentence, starting with إن أو لقد. Okay? So, conclusion, English is a language that cannot really carry weight. It doesn't have enough muscles. Okay? But does this mean that the complementizer is not there? No, the complementizer is there. There is evidence. Do you understand? I hope you will understand this point. Thank you. Alors, so let's move on, please, to the reasons why the complementizer should be postulated there in direct sentences, in normal sentences, for example. Now, just imagine I have something like he will travel. He will travel. Okay. And I have a complementizer here, as I said. There is cross-linguistic evidence that we have a complementizer even here. Okay, we cannot see it, but it's there. We have evidence for that. One piece of evidence is that this complementizer, which does not appear here, it's not visible, but it's there, it's active as a category, it's a functional category, it appears there. It's the one that drives the whole syntax later on. In other words, the type of complementizer we have here will tell us, number one, that this sentence here, this one here, will be a question, okay? For example, when you say, I hope that, when I say, I hope that, can what comes after be a question or not? So it's impossible. You cannot say, I hope that, and start asking a question. No, it's I hope that plus a sentence directly. Is that okay or not? There is a difference between inna in Arabic. When you say inna, you are not asking a question. Jumla insha'iyya, jumla khabariyya, whatever. See? But when you say a sentence with hal, automatically you are asking a question. Okay? In English, for example, the complementizer that is a complementizer that does not introduce a question at all. So it's the one that drives, the type of complementizer we have here is the one that drives the sentence here. For example, this sentence is not a question. Not a question. So we say that the complementizer here is minus WH. This one is minus WH. Hal in Arabic is plus WH. علاش? Because when you say hal, you expect a question later on. Okay? And now let's move on to the classification of complementizers. Okay, let me go back to the sentence with I think that. Okay? Or just that. يلا نديرو غير that باش ما نضيعوش الوقت. So you have that. When you have I think that or he told me that, automatically, as long as you have that, the sentence that will come later is not a question. You cannot say, I think that will he travel? No, it's not possible. So I think that he will travel directly. That's very good. Nice. So we say, okay, so that here does not call for or does not select a clause which is a question. So we say that has a feature. So that كنقولوا عليها بلي it has the feature of minus WH. Minus WH is question. We are not asking a question this way here. Okay. So I think that you are nice. Can you provide me with a sentence where you have that, but later on you have a question? That's not possible. You know, your sentence will downright be ungrammatical. Very interesting. Now, idea number 2 about this complementizer. Can I have I think that? Just think of I think that. Can I have I think that with the clause that comes after being in the infinitive, being one of the infinitives? Infinitives, the live is interrupted. I'm so sorry. واش confirm that the live is interrupted. لا يجزيكم بخير. واش الكونيكسيون اللي ماشي هذيك ولا يمكن عندك انت استاذي. The image is not clear. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please type 1 if it's okay. Type 1 if it's okay. It's not clear. All right. I think this is due to a connection issue again. We are suffering with this. It's not. My God. Okay, let's wait, please. I'll have to pause the live for the moment until you say that it's clear. A little bit. I don't know what a little bit means there. واش وضحت شي ولا ما وضحش؟ Okay, جبار ضياء. A little bit. It's a pity, actually. Has the connection? The live is clear for me. Okay, it means that for some of you it's clear. Now it's clear. Okay, very good. So let's continue, please. Let's continue. So we said that when you say that, I think that, for example, cannot introduce a question. So it's automatically minus WH. غادي نشوفوا الكومبليمنتايزرز اللي فاش كنقولوهم غادي نسميوها plus WH, but wait a minute. All right. So can I, that's question number two. That's question number two. Can I say I believe that or I think that? And immediately after you have a verb in the infinitive. For example, can I say I think that to leave tomorrow? You cannot. Can I say I think that leaving tomorrow? You cannot. Which means that when you have that, automatically the next clause has to be, or the verb of the next clause has to be conjugated. So it's not in the infinitive. Which means that here, all right, that here selects a complement where the verb finite. That's why when we talk about that, it's plus finite. Finite. The opposite of finite is non-finite, and the synonym of non-finite is infinitive. حيث هذاك in c'est pour opposite. None is for the opposite. Donc, where the verb is conjugated, it's finite. Where the verb is not conjugated, it's non-finite. Okay, good. So let me summarize this, please, ladies and gentlemen. Let me summarize this. Very good. That in English and also que in French, when I say je pense que in French, the clause that comes after is not a question. So it's minus WH. And it's not an infinitive. Je pense que tu mangeais avec ER chez Haja. Non, je pense tu manges. Il y a le subjonctif. Voilà, c'est conjugué déjà quand il s'agit d'un subjonctif. Voilà. Donc, so that and que in French. Yeah, French syntax as well, yes. Je pense que tu es. Je pense que tu es. On ne peut pas poser une question à travers que. Que n'introduit jamais une question, une phrase interrogative. OK? Donc, very good. So, this is the idea. Voilà. Let me conclude, please. الناس اللي عندهم امتحان في الS6 واللي بغاو يتعلموا هذا الشيء ديال الكومبليمنتايزر عافاكم. دائما the complementizer has two features that are associated with it. And that's why it is very important in a clause. And that's why, even if we cannot see it, it's there. Number one, the complementizer selects a sentence. Le complementizer, if we have that, it selects a sentence that is minus WH, yani it's not a question, and it selects a clause where the verb is conjugated, so it's plus finite. That is plus finite, minus WH, plus finite. Let's move on to another complementizer, please. Okay, we have a complementizer like if. If, for example, you have, yes, please, yes. So, okay, now we can say plus tense. Sauf que plus tense, it's a property of what? It's a property of the inflection. Okay, غنجيو ليها après. إلا كانوا الناس intéressés. It's a property of inflection. Tense كتكون under I inflection ولا under tense نيت. Mais complementizer حيت tense is just one of the many things. Okay, so finiteness or finite clause. We don't say a tense clause, say a finite clause. Okay, nice. Now let's take the complementizer if. ماشي if ديال conditional. Forget about it, please. Some students last time thought that I'm talking about the if of the conditional. لا 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 سي كمال لا 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 we will have this we will have the tree diagram drawn here and you will see that it's not really complicated. Okay, so we have if here like I don't know if I will travel tomorrow. I don't know if I will travel tomorrow. Now if we paraphrase this sentence, I don't know if we will travel tomorrow, if I will travel tomorrow, this is a synonym of the direct question, will you travel tomorrow? Or will I travel tomorrow? واش فهمتوني؟ دونك كاين واحد التقابل بين I don't know if I am traveling tomorrow, okay? ولا he asked me if I am traveling tomorrow. هذاك if I am traveling tomorrow راه بحالها بحال direct question, will you travel tomorrow? La preuve c'est que عندنا reported speech. نقول لك what's your name? لا مثلا are you a student? The teacher wants to know if I am a student. Donc هذيك are you a student ولات عندي if I am a student. Do you understand or you don't? Okay, so here we have if if هيا does it introduce a question? Yes or no? فاش كنقول if صحيح الحسين نعم الحسين yes you are right you have this comment on TikTok you are absolutely right احنا في complementizer. So if here I don't know if I am traveling tomorrow هذاك if I am traveling tomorrow even if it doesn't have a question mark it's still an interrogative, it's a reported speech. synonym ديالها هي الانتروجاتيف. I think that you will travel tomorrow ما نقدرش نقولوا عليها باللي synonym ديالها هو will you travel tomorrow. لا حيت ما عنديش حتى لا تراس ديال لا كيستيون. J'espère que vous avez compris. Okay, so here we say that if has the feature plus WH. That has the feature of minus WH because the clause that it selects cannot be a synonym of a question, cannot be equivalent to a question. ولكن if راه كنستعملوه في reported speech كتكون عندك une phrase directe, will you travel tomorrow? The professor wants to know if I will travel tomorrow. إذا هنايا if is an indirect interrogative, which means that it's a plus WH. Okay, very interesting. Now, can we, when I have if, can I have an infinitive after? Can I say, I don't know if to travel tomorrow? Of course, this sentence will be ungrammatical. We cannot say if to travel tomorrow, you should always conjugate the verb. Yes, that's an embedded question. صحيح ضياء. صحيح, very good. Yes. Okay. So we cannot say if to travel tomorrow is not possible. Une fois كنقولوا if في هذه الحالة هذه راه خص يكون عندي automatiquement un sujet et un verbe. Ou le verbe خص يكون conjugué. Ce qui veut dire que هنا it is plus finite. This is plus finite. نعاودو. Here we have two complementizers, that and if. The complementizer has the features minus WH because it never introduces a question or a synonym of a question. And when you have that, the clause that comes after is always contains a conjugated verb. Now, for if, there is a little bit of a difference. If introduces a clause which is a synonym of a question, the proof is a reported speech. Okay, but again, if introduces a clause where the verb must be conjugated. So we say that if has these two features. We have another complementizer, which looks like if it's whether. Whether. It's the same as if. It's the same as if. Whether, does whether introduce a plus WH? Since it's a synonym of if, yes, of course. We say, will you travel tomorrow? I wonder if you will travel tomorrow, which means that this is a paraphrase of a question, which means that whether is a plus WH, plus WH. Very good. Now, can I say, I don't know whether I will travel tomorrow? Yes, we can. واش ممكن نقولوا I don't know whether to travel tomorrow or to stay? Of course we can. كما لاحظتوا الفرق بين if و whether واخا هما بجوج ce sont deux synonymes ولكن كيختلفوا في هذه النقطة بالضبط. النقطة اللي كيختلفوا فيها هو أن if selects only finite clauses. بالحق whether admits a finite and infinite, no problem. The proof is that you can say I don't know if I will travel tomorrow ولكن ما كنقولوش I don't know if to travel tomorrow. بالحق مع whether we can say I don't know whether I will travel tomorrow or I don't know whether to travel tomorrow. So for finiteness, whether it can be plus and can be minus finite. Plus or minus finite, both of them are possible. Thank you. Okay, interesting. Now we are left with the last one, and then we move to the tree diagram. Okay, so we have that, if, whether, and then you have for. Let me introduce what about the omitted or not with whether. Whether is there a possibility to omit whether? I don't know to go. No, we cannot omit whether. The only complementizer that is likely to be omitted in English is that, the normal one, the weakest actually. So let's move on to the last one is, okay, you have, so let me see, there's a message here, I guess. Sorry. Okay. Let's take this example, please. Are you okay? I'm sorry. نكتب هنا donc I was happy for him to succeed. I am eager for you to travel. I am eager for you to travel. I am happy for him to succeed. And you have other sentences like this, where you have I am, and then you have an adjective, and then you have for someone to do something. That's the pattern. Now, what happens here? We have for, and then we have for here. You know, ladies and gentlemen, that for is generally a preposition. For is generally a preposition. But in English, for can also function as a complementizer, as is the case here. It can function as a subordinator, which is also a complementizer in this sense. For example, for meaning because. Okay, no, lala. Okay, for that means because. Okay, for example, you say, I will give you a good grade for you have been a very good student. هنا for is not a preposition. نفس الشيء هنا had for ماشي بحال for you, for her. No. For here is a complementizer. علاش complementizer? It's a complementizer because it introduces a clause after. Okay, so we say for him ها هي ها السوجي ها الفيرب. كلوز ولا ماشي كلوز؟ كلوز. علاش؟ حيت فيها السوجي حيت فيها وفيها verb. Subject verb equals a clause. So this one here, because it introduces subject and then the verb, we call this a complementizer. Donc for ممكن نخدموها ك complementizer. Here I am eager for you to travel. The same thing. So I have for, and then I have you, and then you have to travel, which is a verb. Yes or no? مزيان. هنا I was happy for him to succeed. راه ممكن نعوضوها for إلا عوضناها بذات كتولي حاجة أخرى. I was happy that you succeeded. الحسين نجاوبك دابا قبل ما نوصلوا لهذاك حيت سولتيني في تيك توك. هيم هنا كتكون في البلاصه ديال subject which means that it's a specifier of an IP وفي روايه اخرى of a TP. حمقوني الطلبه ديالي واش IP ولا TP، راه IP هي TP don't worry. Okay, very good. Okay, so هنا for him to travel, this is a clause. علاش clause? Why do we call it a clause? Because it introduces a subject plus a verb. It introduces a clause. Therefore, there is good reason to say that for here is a complementizer. So now let's look at the features of for in both cases. Here, question. Can I say I was happy for him succeeded? ما يمكنش. For him succeeded, it's wrong. We don't say like this. You by feel intuitively you will discover that we do not say things like these in English or like this in English. So we say that for introduces a clause that is necessarily, or where the verb is necessarily in the infinitive. So we say that for introduces a non-finite clause. صافي. For introduces a non-finite clause. Voilà, here. Does it introduce a question? No, it does not introduce a question. ما يمكنش نقول him to succeed ما عندناش لا تخاص ديال une question، ماشي بحال if ولا whether ممكن نعوضوها هذاك. No. إذن for is minus WH because the clause is not a question, is never a question. And because it always introduces an unconjugated verb, we say that this is a non-finite, okay? It's non-finite. So we say that for has these features minus WH, minus finite. Is it okay, ladies and gentlemen? Do you understand this? Type 1 on TikTok, type 1 on YouTube. In YouTube, if you type 1, I need to see 1 to confirm that you have understood these things. مزيان. Very good. مزيان. Very nice. Nice. Now we move to something. No, we move to something else. Now we will develop this idea. We'll develop this idea. Okay. So far, we have seen that in any clause. سي عبد الكريم السلام عليكم. Thank you very much. شكرا بزاف اخ الميساج الله يخطيك. He's a neighbor of mine who has placed a comment here to greet me. Anyway, thank you so much. So here, the conclusion so far is that شنو هي الخلاصه ديال هادشي كله؟ هو عندنا واحد الكاتيجوري اللي هي complementizer. In some languages it's visible in all contexts like Arabic. In other languages it shows in specific contexts like in English. For example, in English it can show in the middle, but it never shows, it almost never, let's say, shows in at the beginning. Okay, I will answer you the next land. Let me tell you, please. I don't know if I can continue, but let me finish this idea. So the conclusion so far is that we have this category called complementizer that sometimes shows up, sometimes it does not show up. But whatever the case, it's there syntactically. It means it's working. Sometimes it comes up as a in flesh, in other words. يعني كنشوفوها, it's tangible, it's concrete. But sometimes it's hidden. And even in cases where it's hidden, we still postulate that there is a complementizer because it has different consequences on the clause. For example, the job of the complementizer selects the next clause in terms of whether it's a question or not, in which case it has this feature of plus or minus WH, but it also selects clauses that can be finite or non-finite depending on the type of the complementizer. All in all, clauses are driven by this very important functional category referred to as a complementizer. That's the basic thing. قبل ما نمشيو لو بوين ثاني غادي نجاوب الثانيكس. قال لك ودي قال لنا the professor I don't understand the logic of him functioning as a subject. Him here functions as a subject. There is a conceptual argument for that. Okay, because you have functioning. Okay, that's the verb. Yes or no? Whether we like it or not, it's a verb. Functioning as, it means he is functioning as. And then you have, of course, here him. Him here, of course, it's the subject of functioning, given the fact that we have a verb and we have to have a subject here. Because if we believe that him, I think this is what you want to say. You want to tell us, for example, that him is the complement of the preposition for. يعني لنفرض أن for is a preposition. And him بحال for you, I give this for you, I brought this for you, it's to you, for you, whatever. Okay? غيولي عندنا مشكل. علاش غيولي عندنا مشكل؟ حيت عندي هذا الفيرب غادي يخصو subject. هذا الفيرب غادي يبقى بلا subject. وكاين لو برانسيب، كاين ان برانسيب في لا سانتاكس اللي غادي نوصلوا ليه ان شاء الله. I don't know if you are my student or not. اللي سميتو the extended projection principle. ما يمكنش يكون عندك clause اللي ما فيهاش subject. ضروري خصو يكون واحد subject. دونك عندي هنا فرصه باش نجعل من هذا a subject. علاش هو ما كاينش في الكيس ديالو هنايا؟ اوكي، حيت ما عندوش nominative case. It doesn't have nominative case, mais c'est avancé par rapport à ce qu'on est en train de faire maintenant. Donc on attend. There is this logic. The logic is that, just to answer you directly, is that we have a verb here and we have a clause. This verb in this clause needs a subject, so we have to append this here. And of course, if you think of this as a complementizer, the logic is even firmer. If you think of this as a preposition, you lose everything. غادي نقولوا for him, I was happy for him, وغادي نوقفوا تما. ولكن علاش غادي نكملوا نقولوا succeeding or passing the exam؟ علاش زدنا لو verb لو كانت for a preposition ماشي complementizer؟ غنقول for him ونحبس. وباي ذا واي الا قلنا I am happy for you، فاش كتشوف شي واحد نجح كتقول له I was happy, I'm happy for you. هنا for is a preposition. علاش؟ حيت كتقول happy for you وكتحبس. ولكن غنتلقى شي حد نقول له I was happy for things land to succeed. هنا for ما بقاتش preposition, it's a complementizer because it has, we have evidence because it introduces a clause. How do I know it's a clause? Because I can see a subject, I can see a verb there. All right, so close the bracket. So let's move on, please, to something else. All right. مريم، غادي نسالي هاد اللايف في اليوتيوب وغادي نشوفوا ستارفين اند كريفين، غادي نجي نشرحها لك. جو بوست باك سي لي مومون باش نشرحوا هذه. Thank you so much. But thank you for your interest. Anyway, نمشيو عافاكم. So we are talking now, our guest today is the complementizer. And we say that the complementizer is the one who drives, okay, the whole sentence. So there is good reason to elevate the status of the complementizer to a head. It's a head. عرفتي إلا بغيتي تعرف شي كاتيجوري واش عندها لامبورطونس ولا لا، هو خصو يعطيو له ستاتيو ديال الهيد. Okay, so we can say that the central element in a given clause is the complementizer. علاش؟ حيت هي اللي كتفرق داك الادوار ديال finite ديال plus wh plus minus wh الى اخره. عندها هاد الفيتشرز. Donc puisque la phrase كامله depends on the complementizer, the feature of the complementizer, so the complementizer is the most important element in a clause. Do you understand? So here we are talking about the إلى عندي مثلا I will travel. Here, traditionally we call this a sentence. We used to call it a sentence. I will travel. دابا given the argument I have given you and the ones that you know already, namely that we have an empty complementizer here which is active, a complementizer which tells me that this is finite and this is not a question, etc. So the most important element here is this complementizer, even if it's not visible. And this is the power of X bar theory. All right. So very good. Let's continue, please. So we say that this clause has a head. The clause here has a head. شنو هو الhead? The most important element. So this clause has a head. And this head is the complementizer. Okay. Earlier on, when we talked about the noun phrase, we called the head in generally in X bar theory is given the status of X0. So the head of a noun phrase is necessarily an N0. The head of the prepositional phrase is necessarily a preposition, so it's a P0. The head of a verb phrase is necessarily a verb. It's given the label V0. The head of the adjective phrase is an adjective, and we refer to it as adjective 0, and so on and so forth. Consequently, or given this, following from this, the head of the complementizer phrase is the complementizer اللي هو الhead. Voilà. So هنا عندي الhead. Question: Can I have a head without a phrase? واش ممكن يكون عندي noun بلا ما يكون عندي noun phrase؟ ما يمكنش. واش ممكن يكون عندي preposition without a preposition phrase؟ ما يمكنش. You see? Can I have a complement? If I have a complementizer, يعني complementizer 0, I should have le chapeau. I should have the rest. I should have the projection. It means the complementizer phrase. Okay? It is for this reason, ladies and gentlemen, that clauses like these, all clauses, have the status of a complementizer phrase. CP. هذه c'est une CP. 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 We can also call it C double bar. And the students who keep asking me about these details, we can also write C double prime like this. Whatever you write is accepted. كل شيء هادو synonyms. There is no professor who will say, no, you did not write it this way, you wrote it. Don't worry about these things. I'm confident that all professors would accept any of these. But my advice is just to follow what your professor asks you to follow. Okay? Very good. So this is a complementizer phrase. So please, whenever you have a clause, call it, don't say it's an S, زعما sentence at NPVP. That's very traditional. Now we have spent around 1 hour arguing for this category called complementizer phrase. Complementizer phrase, or we talked about the element called complementizer. ندرجوا شي شويه حيت كيقول هنايا ما فهمناش. بالدارجه الله يجازيكم بخير. دوزنا واحد الساعه كنهضروا على واحد اون كاتيجوري، واحد العنصر اللي كيكون في الجمل. في الانجليزيه بحال ذات، مره كيبان لنا في الوسط ديال الجمله، مره ما كيبانش. في العربيه كيبان وسط الجمله وكيبان حتى في الاول ديال الجمله. في الانجليزيه ما كيبانش لنا في الاول ديال الجمله، ولكن واخا ما كيبانش في الاول ديال الجمله راه عنده لي كونسيكونس على الجمله. واخا ما كيبانش هذا الكومبليمنتايزر، هذا الكاتيجوري ما كيتبانش، ولكن عندها تاثير على الجمله. مثلا هو اللي كيخلي الجمله واش جمله استفهاميه ولا غير استفهاميه، هو اللي كيخلي واش الفعل كيتصرف ولا ما كيتصرفش الى اخره. هذا الشيء اللي خلانا مثلا نعتبروا باللي العنصر الاهم في جمله بحال هذه، في الجمل البسيطه ولا let's call them clauses. اوكي، العنصر الاهم هو هذا العنصر اللي كنسميوه the complementizer اللي كنا كنهضروا عليه هذه ساعه ما قلنا وحنا كنهضروا عليه. اوكي، بما انه عنصر اساسي في الجمله، اذا هو اللي غنعطيو له لو ستاتيو ديال الهيد، كنعطيو له داك the privilege the head. اوكي، هو اللي كيكون هيد. دونك كيكون C0 complementizer 0. علاش كنسميوه complementizer 0؟ حيت فين ما كاين شي كاتيجوري عندها لو ستاتيو ديال الهيد، اوكي، كنسميوها هذاك الكاتيجوري بلس 0. noun phrase عندها noun as a head، دونك N0 الى اخره. اوكي، اذا بما ان عندي الهيد N0، اذا خص الفريز ديالها كتسمى البروجيكشن. maximal projection. Thank you. Yes, سي عبد الجليل. Thank you so much. Yes. الماكسيمال بروجيكشن ديال ما يمكنش يكون عندي سي 0 ما يكونش عندي سي بي، كيف ما يمكنش يكون عندي ان 0 ما يكونش عندي ان بي، كيف ما يكونش عندي بي 0 ما يكونش عندي بي بي. You understand? Okay, good. So here it's a CP. هذه الجملة هذه it's a CP. Okay. واش عندها specifier؟ دابا هذا الشيء ها علاش كنقول لكم my friends. Sorry, there is something going wrong on TikTok. I think it's drag the puzzle piece into. Okay. I think it's working now. Okay, very good. الإخوان والأخوات، راه هادشي ما غاديش تفهموه إلا ما تبعتوش الدروس ديال noun phrase و the other phrases. فهمتوني؟ دونك باش هادشي راه درناه سي بار سي زيرو. إلا درتو هادشي طبقتو على noun phrase عارفين la structure X bar structure of the noun phrase, of course you will easily know about these things. دونك نرجع عافاكم اللي ما فهمش راه يمشي خصو يفهم داك noun phrases هما الاولين. راه درنا الفيديو داك النهار جو سي با واش باقي ولا ما باقيش. الا بغيتو نديرو another live. anyway هنا كاين specifier غادي نرجعوا لهذا specifier نخليوه هكا pour le moment. of course since I have CP here ولا C double bar بحال اللي كتب CP ولا كتب C double bar بحال خص يكون عندي C bar هنايا. اوكي سي بار اوتوماتيكلي بلا ما نفكروا. عندي في الاكس بار ثيوري عندي شي حاجه هنايا كيما بغات تكون. عندي دبل بار اللي من ديالو دائما خصو يكون بار وكنجبدو منه زيرو لهاد هكا خصو يكون دائما. طبقوا هذه القاعده ذهبيه. ما يمكنش عندي ما يمكنش واخا نجيب لكم اون كاتيجوري جديده ما عمرنا ما سمعنا بها. قلت لكم هذه سميتها شي حاجه دبل بار خص هاد لا ستركتور تبان ليا في التيلاجرام. دونك اليوم جبت لكم الكومبليمنتايزر ها هو. دونك ها السي بار ها السي زيرو ضروري. فوالا سي زيرو هنا شنو كنديروا في سي زيرو؟ الهيد هو هذا. كنديروا هذوك الفيتشرز اللي شفنا. دونك هاد لا فراز هذه I will travel, is it a question? No, it's not a question. So it's minus WH. Est-ce que le verbe est conjugué ou non? Oui, le verbe est conjugué. So it's what? It's plus finite. كنكتبها هنايا plus finite. Is that okay? مزيان. Donc le reste I will travel tomorrow غادي نشوفوها tomorrow. I will travel tomorrow will be covered tomorrow. Donc غدا غنتلاقاو نهضروا على هاد I will travel. Thank you Ghostak. Thank you for all the beautiful comments here. الله يخطيكم. يا best way كلشي مقلوب سي فغي. انا قلتها لكم في الاول الناس ديال تيك توك اللي بغى يستافد ويشوف السبوره مقاده وكلشي غيدخل عندي اليوتيوب حيت اليوتيوب كان البث كيكون من البيسي والبيسي الكاميرا ديالو مقاده. انا عييت نقاد هادشي ما لقيتش زعما حيت تسا فرونت الكاميرا. فوالا دونك غدا ان شاء الله نكملوا. واش فهمتوا لي هادشي ولا ما فهمتوش؟ ثانك يو تيتشر. شي حد سميتو تيتشر شي فريند هنايا. guys do not forget to smash like button. الله يخطيك Mohammed. thank you. his name is Mehimid. all right. So الله يخليكم اللي فهموا هذا الليكتشر ديال اليوم يديروا ليا واحد لا في اليوتيوب ولا في سميتو. اللي ما فهمش يدير جوج. واش فهمتوا البيسيك ثينجز حيت غنكملوا على هذا الشيء غدا. سكينه ثانك يو. ناتالي ضياء ثانك يو. صافي ثلاثه بكم. The others have gone. Natalie says two. Hey Natalie, don't say two because I know you understand. Okay, Samia Ikram, thank you. الله يرحم بها الوالدين. Thank you. مرحبا my friend. مرحبا. Why would not we understand? Thank you so much. Yes, Nuhaila, it's always fun. So I'm reading comments here and here. Donc غدا إن شاء الله إلا بغيتوا عندنا موعد غادي نكملوا على هذا الشيء. غنشوفوا شنو هي الاي بي ولا التي بي ونشوفوا علاش كيسميوها اي بي والتي بي. صافي دونك اون اريت لا. غدا غادي نبداو بهذه الجمله I will not travel. I will travel قال لك I will not travel. I will travel. So غنبداو ب I will travel and I will explain to you هاد specifier شنو كيوقع فيه وغادي نشرح لكم هنا شنو كاين. اوكي هنا شنو كاين دونك ولكن خصو ساعه ديالو بوحدو. حنا شويه دابا سي ديجا اوكي طار وحنا خصنا نرتاحوا شي شويه. دونك لا يخطيكم. Thank you very much my dear friends. I would like to thank الناس ديال تيك توك. شي 65 اللي متبعيني في تيك توك which is a record number for me. و18 في اليوتيوب. ما عرفت علاش هاد الاخوان ديال اليوتيوب ما والو. على الاقل you know hit the like button and share and put a comment even after the live is over. Anyway, I will leave you. Thank you very much for your interaction, for your interest, for your encouragements. Let me talk to you later, inshallah. Have a good time, my friends.